She's defying stereotypes and pushing boundaries in an industry that is not only dominated by males, but those males also happen to be white. Her name is Ethel Taka, a female tattoo artist who has been inking people's bodies for more than 10 years ago. Her studios are based in Maboneng in Johannesburg and describes her tattooing style and techniques as realism, 3D and intricate. She joins me now in studio to tell us more about what her career in tattoo artistry entailed. A very good morning to you, Ethel, and welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Good, it's so good to see you. I mean, 18 years in the industry. Yes. Do you want to describe how your journey started?
I think it starts with, look, everyone says I'm an artist, you know, can I do an apprenticeship? You know, I can be a tattooist because I'm an artist. You know, people don't know how technical actually the whole tattooing process is. But I've always done art from as long as I can remember. I was always drawing from 5, 4 with my mother's, my mother was a nursery school teacher. So we used to make drawing boards of alphabets. So from as long as I can remember, I was always drawing, painting. So this was just a different medium, really. But I've always been in the arts.
Where did you discover that different medium? I mean, from painting to body art?
It's a different medium, as I'm saying. It's just you know, instead of putting it on a canvas, it's obviously on live skin. Yeah. But the style is the same. The technique and the way you put it out is the same. It's just obviously you've got a mind. Now we're working on skin tone and things like that.
I mean, you did your apprenticeship with Kevin Brown. How did that kind of relationship come about, and what kind of lessons did you learn from that?
Kevin, look, it's incredible how there's so many great people in the world who just take you in and they have so much faith in you. This is a long-term thing, you know, you've got to believe in someone and sure. You know, trust, you know, the journey that you're going to partake together. Sure. So he took me and I was in Glasgow, Scotland for a few months. I think it was 8-9 months where I did my apprenticeship there. And then I worked in a studio we were in the Cresta shopping center for a few years as well. So he took me in and the faith he had in me that I could do this. Till today, you know, I could never thank him enough.
Indeed. And of all these teachings, what would you single out as one significant teaching that you still live by today?
The teaching is, you know, we come in these industries and you think, look, everything is hunky-dory, but society has a way of reminding you that it is about race. And the song in my head, you know, when you think about Abomam Lilian Goy, the Winnie Mandelas, and the things they've had to go through so that we have this liberation and privileges. So those are the lessons I always take with me, and they stay with me so much. And when you think about how much we've informed world cultures as a black people, you know, you can't help but you want to be so exceptional all the time. Right. So those are the things that every day when someone pulls in or an inquiry comes in, you think, how am I going to do this? I need to do this better than I thought I could. You know, so those are the songs in my head every day in my business, and the lessons. And the lessons and you speak of race as well. I mean, you are in an industry that is dominated by males, particularly white males. How have you been able to navigate around all those challenges? You have to, as I'm saying, as much as you want to forget it, but people come in and they remind, look, we're here because you're black and you're doing this. Oh, but you know, you don't look like the typical tattooist and you're here, you know. So you have to acknowledge that and understand the beast that you're working in and society and how that imparts what we do on a daily basis. So it is about that, and we have to keep that in mind, because you somehow as women, we have to represent the million other women. You know, you take them with you in every single thing you do, be it a musician or an artist or a writer, you know.
So Ethel, how do you describe your hallmark or your inking style?
I love doing dimension. I like fine line work. It takes long. It's not for everyone because it's expensive. It's not a quick tattoo. You know, I see people monthly sometimes. Really becomes a relationship, you know. But I love doing that. I love picking up on shadows and giving design a perception, a perspective, contrast, things like that. I like doing that kind of style, because there are many different styles of tattooing. You get cartoon styles, you get realistic styles. There's something called dot work, where you do little stipplings to just, you know, give a design some effect.
You know, tattooing is one thing that you shouldn't get wrong, because once you get it wrong, everybody's just messed up. And how do you always make sure that you get it right?
I've done many mistakes. We're only humans. Yes.
And how have you been able to rectify them?
You're fortunate to have a client that understands that it's done by a human being. You know, and in your head, every time you get the client, it's a battle, which people are not privy to see. But we're battling in our heads, is this working out right? Is this line thick enough? Can I bring this out more? Can I bring the shadow more to the back?
And I guess that's the deterrent of most people who are still yet to get tattoos, but they fear of artists messing themselves up, because I mean it's permanently marked, isn't it? And there's no way you can rectify that.
No, there's no. Look, there's means and ways. There's cover-ups. If you have art background and art theory, there's means and ways of correcting certain designs.
Okay.
But with experience, you need a lot of experience to be able to pull things like that. But
So the trick
mistakes
is
do
to get
happen, and I've done
a
them
highly experienced tattoo artist like
a
yourself.
long time and make many mistakes.
And make many mistakes in the
Yes.
process. Take us through the process of tattooing. I mean, from identifying that particular curtain or picture or whatever is it that I want to be, I want it laid on my skin.
Right.
Take us through that process.
I find that just from an email, I can tell how open-minded the client is,
Okay.
how far I can push the boundary. I'm a propagandist, you know. I don't like to take instructions.
Really?
It's just who I am. I'd like to, you know, when you inquire on a certain design, I've already put many elements to it already. So I think people are not aware that when you just send that design, you know, it's not going to be just that. You're not getting a quotation on just that. It's going to have my style. It's going to have my own elements and my character in it. So it's an email, and we can book a consultation if we need to discuss the design a bit further, and then we take it from there.
And I guess that's what makes you, you know, stand out from the rest of the other artists. You stamp your own authority. You don't take instructions.
You have to. It's time consuming, but it is well worth it because I put value in what I do, you know, and that I think that's what keeps you in the game, really.
I can imagine. Ethel, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And all the
Thank
best.
you.
Hey.
Thanks for having me.
All right, that was Ethel Taka. She's one of a handful of female tattoo artists in South Africa, defying all the stereotypes and pushing the boundaries in their field. Sure, she started her career more than 18 years ago. She has a studio in Maboneng in Johannesburg, and she's the Women's Month profile for this week. This is Morning Love, but we'll have more sports in a moment.